In today's video, we're gonna listen to one of the most talked about video on the internet right now is Barack Obama is lecturing black men for not willing to vote for Kamala Harris. We're gonna listen in part and address part of this. And also I'm gonna put a link in the description below without my commentary so that you guys can watch it without me interceding consistently. But we will allow him to make the point that he needs to make and responds accordingly. So let's take a listen.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. So if you don't mind, just for a second, I'm going to speak to y'all directly.
I'm gonna speak to y'all, brethren. You know, I'm a son, I'm a father, and I have two children, and we have two stepchildren as well. So we're a blended of four. So when I speak to my younger ones, I take this kind of position where you kind of exercise a level of authority that demands respect, so that you can get your information across. This is the kind of speech you give to your children, right? Not to people about voting. This is not how you talk to men. That's the sense that I'm getting here so far, but let me not judge the thing too quickly. Let's keep listening.
And say that when you have a choice that is this clear, when on the one hand you have somebody who grew up like you, knows you, went to college with you, understands the struggles and pain and joy that comes from those experiences, who's had to work harder and do more and overcome and achieves the second highest office in the land, and is putting forward concrete proposals to directly address the things that are vital in our neighborhoods and our communities, from housing to making sure that our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents can afford medicine, and making sure that we are dealing with prices that are too high.
So he's selling her identity here. He's selling her skin color. All right, she might have gone to HBCUs, but I wonder, like, what about the white people who've gone to HBCUs? Does that make them black? You know? Anyway, so he's selling her identity, and he's having a difficult time to find any policies. And it's okay if you want to sell a person's identity. Character matters, and sometimes we, like they say, representation matters. I do agree to a degree that it does make sense, when to see a person like yourself in certain position and everything. But to make that the main criteria for voting is kind of silly when there are real issues that people are concerned with, right? People are concerned with the economy, okay? She has not really fixed the economy. People are concerned with their borders. She hasn't fixed it. People are concerned with jobs, inflation. They're concerned with their safety. These are things that she had played a role in creating greater issues when it comes to the safety of communities and everything. She supported the illegal migrant issues that are impacting the neighborhoods where black people exist. So they're supposed to vote for the person despite of these issues and policies that have not worked nor benefit Americans, including black people. They're supposed to just bypass all of that and vote for her because of her skin color. And he is talking to black men, including myself, I guess. Like he's talking to some children. This man is out of his mind crazy.
Rents that are too high, and are committed to making sure that we maintain the Affordable Care Act, so everybody's got help here, and cares about things like education and entrepreneurship in our neighborhoods. And that's on one side. And on the other side, you have someone who has consistently shown disregard, not just for the communities, but for you as a person.
I have to say, you could say Trump have said things in the past that I wish he didn't say, right? You could say Trump wasn't the best, most polished, well-talked politician in the world. I will 100% agree with you. But he hasn't done anything to me personally, all right? None of his policies have not impacted me negatively, right? So you can say his verbiage might have offended certain people and some people, but he hasn't done that to me, right? And that is the reality. For most people, they will say, yeah, Trump said things that we may not agree with. But as far as his policies are concerned, his presidency is concerned, it was better for me. That's a fact. So we're doing this character assassination here, but we are neglecting presidency and policies and laws and what worked. So what worked in 2016 to 2020? Trump's policies worked. It worked for the world. We were respected. We were loved. We were known on the world stage. And other nations knew not to mess with America when Trump was president. There was no new wars. Inflation was under control. Gas prices were low. Drill, baby, drill. The economy was in a good condition. And there were many of the tariffs that Trump had passed to keep American jobs in America. And these companies that are taking jobs overseas, they were checked. Even today, the Democratic Party still have these tariffs showing that even though they have an issue with Trump, but they still believe in some of the policies of Trump, right? Yeah, the wall didn't get finished because many Republicans didn't support that. And a lot of Democrats give him a hard time. But now the border is wide open. So therefore, Trump had a good plan, even though you guys didn't allow him to work on that plan. And he's coming back saying, I'm going to fix this thing. And he seems to have a plan. He's done much better job than all these political talks. So yeah, you can sell the idea that Trump has done some bad things, but the Democrats have also done worse for black communities, right? Because they have not been that polished either. They have not really ministered to the needs of those people either. The communities that are impacted the most by illegal migrants are cities where Democrats have always promised solutions and everything. They're also sending things to red states as well. But we have Chicago and New York and all these countries, these states who've become sanctuary states. And the Democrats don't really provide and take care of them either. So you can blame Trump all you want, but the truth is both party is guilty of not doing their jobs properly. But when Trump was on the job, he did a much better thing. So how are we supposed to vote for Kamala Harris when she's been on the job and has not done a good enough job, but you want us to rehire her for the same job? That sounds crazy.
And you're thinking about sitting out? But,
I mean, I think being in that room, being under that speech, you might not realize the level of disrespect that's going on here and the level of degeneracy. It looks like, well, he's just talking to us like men. I'm going to talk to you like men. But he is lecturing them on how to think. He's telling them not only how to think, even what to think and how to vote. This is crazy. This is wild. He's not appealing to the needs of the voters. He's appealing to their emotion. He's appealing to them, selling skin color. That is racist. That's what racism looks like in practice today. If a white man was to do this with white people, what would we say? But the fact he is black, supposedly, biracial, I should say, the fact he is black, let's just go with that. It's okay for him to do that. But I'm so glad people are responding, and this is why we're making this video.
Because of Putin, I think. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses.
They're not excuses. They are real reasons that concerns people. They're not excuses. And here's the issue. They're not paying attention to what the people are concerned about. And this is why the Democrats are going to take a serious beat down. On November 5th, they're going to come face to face with reality. All the gaslighting from the media is not going to work. They're going to come face to face with reality. People are smarter than you think, and giving them a speech, a piece of your mind is not going to change that. These young black male, many black male who will refuse to vote for them, for Kamala Harris, they have some solid reasons for it. Solid reasons for it. And the reason they choose Trump is not because they're crazy out of their minds, because they're afraid of racism. And yet, no. They know when things worked, and when they know when things are no longer working. They can tell the difference. This is why they are changing their votes. So respect it.
I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
Part of it, you hate women. That might be true, but I'll be honest with you. The honest truth is her policies are irrational. They are radical policies. Okay. She is the candidate for the LGBT community. That's really what she supports. So did Mr. Obama. Mr. Obama in office only did things for the gay people. He did not help black communities. And we made a mistake, somebody. I never voted for him. Don't put me in this category. Black people, y'all made a mistake voting for this guy. I did not vote for him. I did not get on board. As a matter of fact, I was apolitical during that time, and I was like, I don't even care. But anyway, all I knew is it felt good. He had a different energy about him. He was a good talker. It did feel like it was a time of change at the moment. But looking at it now and the policies that he's enforced, everything that he said he wasn't going to do, he did. He said he was going to stand for marriage. He messed that one up. No more wars. There was more wars. You know how many bloodsheds? What he did with the children at the border and everything. He separated children from their parents. Like, he was doing the very policies that he himself had claimed to be against. So black people didn't benefit much from this man's presidency. So now he's coming back to give you a piece of his mind to get us on board. Like, this is crazy, man. This is absurd.
And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that. And I think anybody you are talking to in a barbershop, anybody you are talking to in your house, in your family, at church, who is coming with that kind of attitude, I think you have to ask them, well, how can that be? Because the women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time.
But her policies are terrible. She may have a sweet, loving, smiley, and attitude. She want to laugh about everything. But her policies are the ones that are impacting people. That's why you got to know the difference. You may have an issue with Trump's character, but Trump's character doesn't have an impact on my life. I don't live in Trump's house. So what he does in his home, that's his own business. But how he runs the country is what matters to us. So yeah, Kamala Harris might be nice and sweet and loving and love to eat chips and Doritos and everything. Fine. I'm happy for you, girl. But how are you going to fix the issues of our society in today's world? How are you going to fix it? She says she will do nothing different than what Biden has done on The View. So with that kind of mentality, we're going to get a Biden 2.0 or even worse than Biden voting for Kamala Harris. The very issues that we are struggling with right now, they are only going to get worse under her presidency. So why will black people vote for that? She's for open border. She pushes transgenderism on children. She believes canceling children in the womb is a positive thing. She believes in giving money to illegal migrants, even though black communities are completely disarray. She places foreign nations' needs above the condition of our country, above Americans' need. Monies are being pumped into other nations to fight wars and bloodsheds when American cities are left completely unaddressed. Are you kidding me? So we're supposed to vote for that? You might as well vote for Jesus. But the truth is, he's not running for president. So
They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble,
so he's comparing Kamala Harris to being your mother. She's not my mother. And if my mother was president and had these radical policies, I wouldn't vote for her either. I would love my mom. I'll say, Mom, you are not fit for the job. I'm so serious. I'll support her everywhere else. But to run a country with these kind of radical policies, even if it was my grandmother, whom I love somebody, I will not vote for her.
and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now,
Kamala Harris is your mother, just like your mama, because she's black. What a stupid idea, somebody.
you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that
The Democratic Party has done the same thing. Kamala Harris has said she will do nothing for black people. What are you talking about? Both parties are guilty of denigrating black people. Both parties are guilty of that. And not only are they denigrating black people, both parties are also guilty of denigrating other races and ethnicity as well. So politicians are not perfect. The unfortunate reality, that's what it is. But to say Trump is that kind of guy, is this racist, I don't believe that. I don't buy into that because I don't see it. Now, you can say he's not always saying the right things with his mouth. I'll agree with you on that one. I'll give you that one. But as far as him running as a president in this country, from what I could remember, things were in a much better condition. These are the facts.
that's a sign of strength because that's what being a man is. Putting women down,
Silly.
that's not acceptable.
That's not acceptable.
That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
Okay, Daddy Obama. You gave these black men a piece of your mind, and guess what? You did nothing. And this is why now the media is on fire. This, all you simply did, you just burned the entire building down. You can't talk to people like that. You got to appeal to their need. You got to show them your visions. Because you lambasting Trump and you comparing Trump to some crazy, degrading individual. He was already president. We know who he is. We've seen the man. We were already under a Trump presidency. So this idea that he's the worst thing that ever exists is a lie. It's a big fat lie. Because we already experienced his presidency. We know how things were much better. You can't make that up. You can't lie about that. It's written in history. But we are under the Biden and Harris administration, of whom we believe Obama has a great influence. And guess what? Things are worse under your administration than they were under Trump. So we're supposed to vote for the same administration who's promised they're going to fix things when on day one, you are already in power. You're going to fix it in the future when you can fix it now. So I'm supposed to believe you're going to fix the problem that you yourself partly is guilty of. You've signed the very bills that created the problems that are impacting our communities, but I'm supposed to vote for you in the hope that you can fix it. What kind of crazy mentality is this? Are these people out of their minds? And you go on to lecture black men and trying to make them feel bad for not going along with your political views? You neglect their needs, their concerns, their questions. You don't answer. I mean, she was in the basement. All of a sudden now she's coming out. The more she speaks, the worse things get. And now all of a sudden we're supposed to go vote for her? Give me a break. Give me a break, somebody. You're not gonna mislead me, somebody. And a lot of us as black men are gonna look at this and say, please, brother, please move to the side. You are the past. And we made a mistake by voting for you. We need to repent and say we should have never voted for this guy. This was an error. And we ain't gonna make that same mistake again. Bye. They're gonna vote for Trump, whether you like it or not. I plan on making my move this week. I dare you to stand in my way. Have a good one. Bye.